Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Westbeth Staff Appreciation Day. Thank you, staff. As we all know, the last year has been incredibly difficult, and as you all know, our staff once again went above and beyond in everything that they did to keep us safe during the last year. We have a few speakers here, and I'll introduce them as we go along. My name is George Kaminsky, and I am the Secretary of the Board of Directors, and I, for a little while, was the President of the Westbeth Artists Residence Council. Our day today started out from an idea that one of the tenants brought to work, and I want that tenant to come up and talk about how she thought of this idea and how we expounded on it. Pele Bausch.
Hi everybody, how are you? So my name is Pele Bausch and I'm a resident here. I'm also a Westbeth kid who grew up here. And I'm a dance artist. And I thought of the Staff Appreciation Day as we were nearing the anniversary of the COVID lockdown. I was remembering how scary and difficult it was back in spring of 2020. New York City was the epicenter of this global catastrophe. People were dying by the thousands right here in our town. We knew so little about this novel coronavirus and even how it spread. And in the midst of all of that fear and chaos, the Westbeth staff was coming to work and doing their jobs and doing it well. I'm sure most of them had to ride the subway and have been riding the subway all year, which is something that I've been too afraid to do. But they came here to take care of our building, to keep everything running, to sanitize the elevator buttons over and over again, and to help to keep us safe. And this made a huge difference in my feeling of safety here at home. So at the time, I made a handful of thank you Westbeth notes with my children, and I put them up on my floor, and I put one up in the mailroom. And so when the anniversary of the lockdown came, started thinking about all of those things and remembering what that was like. So I went to work with the idea of residents thanking the staff by putting posters and notes on all of our doors, all on the same day. And I'm really grateful that work embraced the idea and added their own contributions to make it even better. We are lucky to have such a terrific and friendly staff. Some of them have been with us for decades. So I encourage everyone to thank them directly when you see them today. And if you haven't had a chance to put something on your door, don't worry, the day is not over yet.
Thank you, Pele. Our next speaker is the chair of our board of directors, Joe Versace. But I wanted you to know, not only was our staff there for us during the pandemic, but our board was there, particularly our executive committee. We met every day at 4 o'clock for 2 months running to make sure that to go over the issues that came up the day before and to make sure that the building was safe. And the person that led us through that was our chair, Joe Versace.
Thank you, George. And you're gonna hear a lot of thank yous today. And those thank yous are not necessarily for doing your jobs. The thank yous are for the way that you've done your jobs in the past year. Oh, okay. Is that better? So what I was saying is, it's not the job that people have done, it's how they've done them. And The hows are with integrity, with compassion, with commitment, with love, with generosity, with unbounding flexibility. When I think about from the first meeting that we had sitting here in the community room that Sunday afternoon, when our world was beginning to change, the overall energy from everyone was, how can I help and what can I do? So I know that a lot of people are following me to express gratitude, but it's my job today to express gratitude to Matt, to Shelley, to Angie, to Eliza, to Chad, and to the best partner anyone could ever ask for in a global pandemic, Ellen, as the CEO and leader of WestPac. There was no rule book, there was no guidebook, there was no how-to, and yet, as George said, with a combination of the board and the staff and all of you, we can sit here today, mostly mask-free, having our community intact and be ready to face the future. So I'm in great appreciation for all, and I now will turn it over to Ellen.
Well, thank you, Joe, and good afternoon, everyone. It's really hard to follow you, Joe, and George, and Pele. And I'm just going to add to everything that's been said. And yeah, it was an interesting first year at Westbeth. I thought I was coming on to reinvigorate a little bit the arts at Westbeth, get to know the residents, and then who knew? There was a pandemic, so all bets were off. But it's really a pleasure to be with you today to celebrate the extraordinary women and men that make Westbeth. I was trying to think of adjectives working with Eliza, and so here are a few that came to mind in thinking about this campus. Clank, plie, hiss, sing, hum, run, jump, swab, chasse, stretch, fund, deliver, paint, come alive. And I wasn't even thinking about the resident artists of Westbeth. I was thinking about the staff and the buildings. So in my relatively short tenure of 18 months, I've had the pleasure of getting to know these superheroes. And they have worked, as Joe said and George said, night and day to keep our community safe and sustainable. From Victor's 45 years on the job, which we'll celebrate, George tells me, another time. I think he started in the womb. To the team of Beyond Whirling Dervish Filing Fanatics we have in the gallery, thank you, Warwick, who joined us just a few months ago. Every single employee in between, you all know who you are, and you know how much you matter to this organization and to me. We could not and would not be here without your essential efforts, given every day through the pandemic and beyond with a smile. I want to make sure everyone knows, especially Brad and Corey, and everyone here, residents, board members, and beyond, that we're a family of people who care deeply about our residents, our creative community, our neighborhood, our city, our commitment to the arts and social justice. So the very first time I met some of the staff, and you know who you are, before I was even hired, I asked them what was the best part of their job. And without hesitation, they said, the residents, having gotten to know them over the years. I also asked them what was the worst part of their job, and you can imagine what their answer was. So for each member of the office staff, to every building service employee, and I want to introduce Noor as well, Joe. You were talking about the members who were there when the pandemic started, but Noor has become an essential part of our office staff, along with others we keep expanding. So we couldn't do it without you, Noor. And I also want to thank Brian and Rose, who are not here today, and the staff members who work the midnight shift, who might not be here as well. But I was thinking about how much pride you take in your work, all of you, because it's really palpable. I remember when Amy Rose and her COO, Brian Peters, did a walkthrough with Joe and myself that, everyone says, how long will it take? And we say, how much time do you have? Because they forget that Westbeth is a block, an entire city block. So after a very long tour, they leaned over to Joe and me and said, they whispered, because I think we were with Albert, and they said, did they clean the halls for us? Did they know we were coming? Oh, I said, did they clean the halls for us? They asked, did they know we were coming? And we both replied, no, it always looked this way. And it does always look that way, except for the lobby, which I'm coming for those packages. Trust me, that's next. But really, thank you, because it always does look that way, and you guys do take such pride in your work, and we are so, so lucky to have this extraordinary staff, both in the office and beyond. So now I think it's my great pleasure to thank Speaker Corey Johnson and his staff for all of the years of grant support, and especially now during the pandemic and beyond, for everything you've done for this community, for not just Westbeth, but for the entire New York City and the community, but for us, for the food during the pandemic and everything else. And also for Brad Lander, for State Senator, Brad Hoylman.
Definitely
It's
not
Brad Lander. Not Brad Lander. It's just the Brooklyn side of me coming out. I apologize. For so much, for the food deliveries, for the hand sanitizers, for the masks. We couldn't do it without both of you and your support. And today really is about Westbeth, our staff, and we just couldn't do it without you. And you make it look easy, you make me look good, so I love you for that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over. I think, Corey, you're up?
No, we have Diana.
You have Diana.
Thank you, Ellen. And now the Vice President of the Westbeth Artists Residence Council, Diana Jensen, will speak.
Hi, everybody. I'm Diana Jensen. I've been in the building about 6 years. I don't know a lot of you quite yet. I hope to get to know more of you very soon. I typically like to stay in the background. So Roger has given me this lovely speech to read you all. Thank you all for being here, and a huge thank you to the staff. I know those of us who were here March, April, May last year, it was a really scary time, and you guys are incredibly brave, especially when there was chaos in the streets. You still came to work. It was like amazing, and I'm so grateful. So I'm going to read you Roger Brayman, Works President. He could not be here today, so he asked me to read this note on behalf of WARC, the Beautification Committee, and the Westbeth residents. As we celebrate Westbeth's 50 years of creativity and exploration, today we celebrate the staff that supported us. We love our staff. They are more like fellow residents, only more helpful, less noisy, and more inclined to smile back at you when you say hello. Westbeth residents are a challenging bunch with legitimate needs and some illegitimate demands, but we cherish the kindness and willingness of our staff to keep us safe with varying degrees of sanity. Day to day, our staff is unfaltering, and on extreme situations, they are absolutely heroic. During Hurricane Sandy, they lit the doorways when it was dark. They got us water when our sinks went dry. They delivered heaters, blankets, medicine, packages, and food. Over the last year, they have risked their lives during COVID-19 for our largely at-risk residents and have provided as much normalcy as possible. There are so many individual acts of kindness that never went recorded until today. Today, we say thank you to our staff, not just for the past year of working above and beyond, but for all the years and all the years to come. You are the heart and soul of the Westbeth. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Our next speaker has been a friend to me, a friend to Westbeth, for over 8 years, our council member and the speaker, Corey Johnson.
Hi, everyone. It feels so nice to be together outside. It's like New York City is alive again, and it feels so wonderful. I don't know if you all saw, but I shouldn't even mention it, but about a year ago around this time, there was an article in a tabloid that I will not say the name of, and it said, "New York City is dead forever." That was the title of the article. And what we have seen over these last few weeks is that New York City is more alive than ever. And part of what got us through the incredibly difficult months of last late winter, early spring, into the summer were our essential workers. And all of the staff here at Westbeth are essential. And they are not just essential when crisis hits, like Hurricane Sandy, or when we're in the midst of a global pandemic. They are essential every single day, and they deserve our thanks every single day for the work that they do. And so today is really about them. I, of course, want to thank each and every one of you. I'm looking at each and every one of you for everything that you've done. I want to thank Ellen and Joe for your leadership. I, of course, want to thank George and Roger. I want to thank my friend and colleague in government, State Senator Brad Hoylman. I also know that some of the staff members, of course, last year got sick, which meant that some people had to do extra shifts to cover for folks that had to be out. And again, I want to just acknowledge all of your hard work and compassion. I am really honored to join the incredible residents here at Westbeth in sincerely thanking you for your heroism and your compassion. We couldn't be more grateful for all of you. Thank you all very, very much.
And another true friend to Westbeth, Senator Brad Hoylman.
Thank you so much, George. State Senator Brad Hoylman, such a joy to be here. I feel like I'm in an alternate universe because you have management and tenants and staff, and they all like each other in a New York City apartment building. I appreciate it, and I'm really glad to be here. And thank you, seriously, as Speaker Johnson said, thank you to the essential workers, the staff here, Todd and his team, amazing work, really protecting us here in Westbeth, but our entire community. So that service, that sacrifice on your part and on the part of your families cannot go unmentioned again and again. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And as part of that, you just haven't endured the pandemic. You had protests, you had Superstorm Sandy. I mean, what else can they throw at you guys? But you have risen to the challenge. So Speaker Johnson and I wanted to take this moment to present you with a joint proclamation. And Todd,
Why don't you come up and accept the proclamation?
so this is so important that you have two different levels of government joining forces to present a proclamation. This is a rarity in New York politics. Honoring the staff of Westbeth Artist Housing for exceptional service to its residents and the community. And I'll just read the last few lines. This is where we get to be like the Wizard of Oz here. Whereas the staff of Westbeth have the lasting appreciation of residents and the community for all they have done to ensure the legacy of Westbeth, now therefore be it resolved that we, New York City Council Speaker Corey Johnson and I, New York State Senator Brad Hoylman, recognize that the Westbeth community staff are all individuals worthy of our highest esteem, gratitude, and respect, and be it further proclaimed that we declare June 1st, 2021, Westbeth Staff Appreciation Day in New York City.
Thank you very much to Speaker Johnson and to Senator Hoylman for coming here today. But again, it is all about our staff. We're going to wrap up in a minute. There's a few things to mention. We have some little snack bags for everyone, but staff gets first pick. So they're over there on the table. You will see right next to it, there are some orange bags, just like this one. Would you hold that up, Brad? Corey dropped these off a year ago, and we gave them away, and nobody wanted them, but in case you've lost your little reusable orange bag, they're hanging up on the chair rack. So, yeah, it's recycling returns. So, and break down your boxes when you take it downstairs. If you really want to thank and respect the staff, take all of your recyclables down and sort them. And don't leave things by the compactors, right? Anyway, thank you all for being here. Help yourself to a snack and to one of the bags. On Wednesday, we're having a delivery of 100 boxes of non-perishable food. Thank you, Speaker Johnson. So if you would like to sign up for one of those boxes of food, right over there at the table, you might recognize Nancy and Christina. All you have to do is give them your name and apartment number, and we will deliver the boxes on Thursday between 2:30 and 4. Thank you very much for being here. Now get a snack, and thank each and every one of our staff members. Oh, I'm sorry. Totally. There's more. Totally my fault. I'm sorry. Oh well. Who the hell doesn't know Samantha Hall?
We saw when you were coming in, sometimes I used to see that we could we could see that you were suffering too. I could see it in your faces. But then I also noticed that you were very calm and steady, and then you were also those beautiful smiles, especially seeing Anthony and Oliver giggling, and Odessa being badass, and Linda with that India with that beautiful smile. We just really want to wrap it up and say thank you so much, because we understood that it was you left your families to come and look after ours, and we really appreciate that. You know, it was difficult. It was a really hard year for everyone. And not only was it through the pandemic, when we had that snowstorm, you stayed over in those cots on the top floor and got up at the crack of dawn and cleared out all the snow so that we could get through without breaking our necks. So thank you. So on that note, and thank you, Pele, for this idea. It was fabulous. And thank you, Jan and Erin and Pele, for helping us put the posters up on the doors that didn't have them. Where is it? Come here, handsome. Ellen, if you could take this for the office staff, please. It's just a little. And this is for you guys. All right? Thank you. That's it. Go with the snacks. All right. Thank you.
Okay, snack time, bag time, but thank the staff. Thank you all for coming out. Those of you who can, help put chairs back on the rack when you can. Staff, don't touch anything. Thank you.
lunch and you guys. Yeah, that's.
Thanks for your help today. Really appreciate it.
Very good. I know, and we got you out in time.